don't care what anybody say. This was a good time. This was a good time, and there was plenty of eye candy.
Only apply that. Get it, don't be timid when you ain't apply that. Love up on it. Give along, leave it. I don't want no trip, baby, spend like
Here. My name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related, and I am here to put you on, okay? We are back to talk Nemesis, the 8-episode series that dropped on Netflix, brought to us by Courtney Pimp, Tani Moreau. I don't know if I'm pronouncing their name properly, but listen, I was over here, I was infinitely sad, and we need to talk about it. So, this is really a story of retribution, of integrity, of really having a true nemesis, someone who maybe has a similar experience as you around the same age, but you guys operate on completely different ends of the spectrum, right? And so we meet Isaiah and we meet Coltrane. These are our two mains. Now, what I will say, Mario Van Peebles to me did his biggest one in the opening shot. This was definitely a callback to New Jack City. Coltrane was over here looking exactly like Nino Brown in this first heist. I thought it was a great setup for the show. Again, overall, I thought it was fun. Now, somebody in my comments said anyone who liked this show is a plant or you just want to stay in the good graces of Black Hollywood. Now, if y'all have been here any length of time, y'all know I don't give a damn about being in nobody's good graces. And so I just thought it was fun. We had a good time in the Discord. It kept you on the edge of your seat. You were asking questions. And by the end, you ultimately wanted to see more. Now, am I happy that they left it like this with the possibility of not getting renewed for a season 2? No, I don't like that. I don't. But like I said, I was completely set. This is not Power. This is not copy and paste. There are some similar themes throughout, and I think you just get that in the genre. As far as the performances and the acting, a lot of people have a lot to say, especially about Matt Law, aka O'Shawn, over there at Abbott Elementary. Listen, I think that was just his character. I think his character was meant to be infuriating because at the end of the day, he's supposed to be on the side of right and good and all of those things. And he's the most annoying. He's the most neglectful father. He's the most terrible husband. He's all of those things. While on the other side, we have Coltrane, who is this criminal, but he loves his wife down bad. He's doing whatever he needs to do for family and his friends to his detriment and absolutely to a fault at some point. And so I really like the juxtaposition of that, this lawman who's really not a great person. And then we have this criminal who actually is the good man, Savannah. I thought that was great. Overall, my sweet pea rating out of 5 sweet peas, I'm giving it 3.5. I'm giving it 3.5. Again, this is not perfection. This is not Emmy Award winning, but it was a really good time. So, of course, we meet these two characters very early on. And like I said, Isaiah is a cop. And a few years back, he had lost his trainee 2 years prior in involving this group of guys involved in a heist, right? And so from that moment on, he's been seeking retribution. Although the crime was pinned on somebody, somebody took the charge and is in jail currently serving it for the unaliving of his trainee, he could never get over it. He is one of those people who is completely immersed in the job, completely immersed in work, and it comes at the cost of his family. His wife, who's a therapist, played by Gabrielle Dennis, is on her way out of there. Because who are you? And honestly, they're going to set it up. You don't like her in the beginning, but she's justified in how she feels. Ultimately, you find that out. But he sacrificed everything for this job and for not only rising in the ranks, but getting justice and finding out who this crew was, right? So when he notices these jobs that are going off, right, more frequent than normal, because Coltrane has a rule, we do one heist a quarter, but he and his wife, Ebony, have recently lost a child. And so they've taken several months off. And so his crew is dealing with that. And they're like, we need to get back in the game. It comes on Isaiah's radar and he's like, this is that same crew. So I need to start watching them. Meanwhile, on the other side, Coltrane is an ex-con. He's met all these guys, I believe, in prison as we get their backstory later on in the episodes. And he's really about family. He has really reformed himself in the community. He heads charities, all of those things. And we meet his wife, Ebony, who we see in the opening shot pull this job with him at this poker game, but later see I'm not the same person as I was. We find out that her older sister Charlie basically raised her in the criminal enterprise game. And so she has a criminal mind. She did go to an Ivy League school, but at her core, she's a criminal. But she tells him, listen, I can't do that anymore. That's beyond me. After everything that's happened, I just want to take a back seat to everything and I'm going to stay at home. And he's like, listen, we're going to do this last job and I'm going to be out of it and we can go wherever you want and live our life and just figure life out. Because one thing is, Coltrane to me really does love his wife. What I feel like his major fault was Dion in that crew. So we have our crew. We have Stro, we have Choi, we have Dion. Listen, Stro, Dion, Choi, all of them. I ain't seen nothing like it in TV or movies lately, where it's just everybody fine, all the men married to black women. I ain't seen it. And for that reason, it's going to stand. All right. But immediately that everybody in the crew is fairly solid. A lot of them have military background, except for damn Dion. Dion was the liability, but he's the uncle of Stro, right? And Stro is a stand-up guy, a good guy, dependable, I guess, if it's criminality, but nevertheless. And Coltrane's like, listen, I want him out. Stro is vying for him because that's my uncle, even though he's a degenerate gambler. He's got two families, two sets of baby mamas, everything. We want to hold on to him. I knew from the beginning, if we don't get rid of Dion, it's going to be a problem. Ultimately, we see that play out. And so, honestly, we're just following this journey. As far as Isaiah's life, outside of his wife and son, he also has a father, Nightmare, who was in the game a long time ago. Isaiah lost his brother because of the father introduced him into thug life and all of that. And so Isaiah has this grudge, but he still supports him monthly. I still have to provide some sort of support. I feel like that's my duty and obligation. So he does a lot out of obligation and duty. So ultimately, as the story grows, Coltrane figures out Isaiah's watching him. Isaiah figures out who Coltrane is. And now it's this game of hide and seek, of cat and mouse. We're going all over LA. Isaiah's wasting money. People are looking at him crazy. Ultimately, Coltrane takes out Nightmare, Isaiah's daddy, and the son sees it. And so now we want retribution, and it turns into this whole thing. Again, like I said, is it perfect? No, but is it a good time? To me, is it worth the watch? Absolutely. If for nothing else, but you want something to look at. And like I said, I don't think the story's bad. Some people are comparing it to Heat and saying it's like a bootleg version of that. Yeah, whatever. How many ideas are really original at this point? I think we've seen the themes over and over and over again, but I think it's great. Ultimately, Isaiah chooses his son. Coltrane goes free, and now we have to contend with that. What does a season 2 look like? Because both are still alive, but the aught has not disappeared. And so it'll be interesting to see where it goes from there. Coltrane saves his son. Where do we go from here? Do you feel any indebtedness? Stro is in jail, Dion's gone, Nightmare's gone. So it'll be interesting to see. I really do hope they get a season 2 because, like I said, we do need more representation. Everything's not going to be perfect or meet everybody's needs, but I thought this was a good time. Again, like I said, my Sweet Pea rating overall is 3.5 Sweet Peas out of 5. You guys drop it in the comments. Let me know what your Sweet Pea rating was. What did you think of it? Was this a fun watch for you? And also, I need y'all to understand, people to understand the difference between a fun watch and an exceptional great watch, right? Because there's a difference. I had a good time. And I think that's all I can ask for in entertainment right now in these days. But if you guys are still here, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to comment, subscribe, do all of the things for your girl. All right. Let's talk about it. Let me know what you thought about the representation. What do you think about the portrayals, the actors, all of that? I want to know. Let me know, and I will see y'all in the next video. Thanks for watching.